and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kurt for those that are new, and today we are going to continue talking about my makeup collection. We are going to take a dive into pretty much all things cheek. Highlighters, bronzers, and blushes. Now I don't have a lot of those, so this shouldn't be too long of a video, but feel free to grab a beverage, grab some coffee, because I know that this is early in the morning. Grab some breakfast, you know, all that good kind of stuff, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. I'm trying to film in natural light, which is what I usually try and do. So the sun is probably going to be shifting a little bit, so I'll have to maneuver. And so I just appreciate you being patient with me with the lighting situation. So the first thing that we're going to go over is going to be our blushes. So I have a few of them here on my little vanity. The first one that we're going to take a look at is going to be this ColourPop blush. This is going to be in the shade Growth Flirt. It's their Super Shock Cheek Shadows. It is well loved. It's falling out, as you can tell. The product pan is a little bit of an illusion, and that's one thing that I don't too much care about this product. This blush is creamy, but it's not a cream. So it is still a powder. You can put down your base products powder and then put this over it, and it won't pick up the foundation or anything like that. So it's a really nice blush. It is a good color for the summertime when I'm a little bit deeper. It is a good color for the springtime as well, but I do find that I reach for it more in the summertime. So it's not horribly pigmented. Like, it is more of a soft kind of color, and you would need to build this up on deeper skin tones, but it's really, really nice. Not very expensive at all. So I do enjoy this one. I also have another one of those Super Shock Cheeks, and yes, she did. Same packaging. This one's a little bit more rose tone. I would say that one's a little bit more yeah, this one's a little bit more rose tone. This one is a little bit more pink tone. So you can kind of see the difference there. Same application. May need to be built up a little bit, but not too much. And the color payoff is pretty good. So I do enjoy these. I do tend to reach for, of course, the darker one in the fall time, the lighter one in the spring, summertime. Another item that I reach for more so in the summertime is going to be this Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio. This is really cute. The pans are a little challenging to kind of get into. This one's very close to my skin tone, so it doesn't show up a whole lot, but these two do show up pretty well. I'm gonna swatch them just so you can kind of see. So that's what they're gonna look like. Just so you can kind of see like the color payoff on those. I believe I got this at TJ Maxx, so I don't know if this is still available or not. But if it is, of course, all the products I will have linked below in the description bar. One that I got in a BoxyCharm is going to be this Ciate Marbled Light collection in the shade Burnt. I do really like this. This one does have really good color payoff. It shows up on the skin very well. I am wearing it today. It does have this marble kind of look in it, so it kind of helps like diffuse it and even add like a little bit of a highlight to it. I really like it. It's like a 2-in-1, so this one is really, really nice. It is a little bit more on the expensive side, and there is that one, so you can kind of see that on my hand. And then on the more affordable side, I've got a couple from e.l.f. This first one's just going to be their blush palette. It doesn't have a name on it. It's 4 tones, as you can see. I got this at Target, and so not very expensive at all. I do love e.l.f. They make affordable options for people, and they are not challenging to find. Their products are good for the most part. There are a few that, you know, are hit or miss, but I do enjoy this palette. We're going to swatch it. So you can kind of see, you know, the payoff on it is pretty good. I think this palette was like $6. And so I do enjoy it. It is a nice palette. It's very pigmented, so you do not need a lot. Do not do not buy this and go in with a heavy hand because you will be upset at yourself. Another one by e.l.f. that I have is I believe these are primer infused. It doesn't have a name of the style on here, but it's the Always Spicy. This is a really, really nice shade. I really like this. Again, e.l.f. is on the affordable side. You can find it at the drugstores. You may not be able to find all the shades at the drugstore, but you can find it at the drugstore. Otherwise, you can order it online. I don't know that they have anything that's really over like 12 or 15 bucks. Even their larger shadows their larger eyeshadow palettes, I believe are only like $15. So the brand as a whole is pretty inexpensive. The shades, they have an array of shades on these, and yeah, I really do like this one. It is kind of red tone, so some people may even be able to get away with using this as a bronzer instead of a blush. If you are like lighter toned than I am, you may be able to get away with using this as a bronzer. And I believe this was only, maybe this one was $6 as well. Not very expensive at all. And then the last blush that I have is going to be this one by Note Cosmetics. I got this in a BoxyCharm. This is in the shade Desert Rose. And as you can tell, it is a pretty light blush. I go back and forth with this blush. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I don't like it at all. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. Maybe it may be in a future declutter video. Stay tuned. We'll find out. But yeah, I like the formula of it. I do think it goes on really well. They have other shades of this, but I don't think that this is one that I would be buying. You know, like I got this in a BoxyCharm. It was nice to try the brand, or at least try this blush, but I can't see myself going out and specifically looking for blushes in this company, especially when I have something like e.l.f. and their blushes are much less expensive and they work really, really well. So moving on to bronzers, I've just got a couple here. The first one that I have is the Fenty Sunstalker bronzer. This one I got in the shade Cocoa Naughty. I got it from Sephora, and I kind of fell into the hype. I like Fenty. I'm so glad that this is an exclusive brand for so many people, and that it's available. You know, women of color, we have a challenging time trying to find not only the right shades, but the right undertone. It can either look too red or it can look too orange, and not all of us are orange or red. Like, let's just be real. So their shade range was cools and neutrals and warms, you know, yellow undertones, green or olive undertones, things like that. And they were very conscious of including everyone. So with this bronzer, I kind of fell into that hype, like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. I'm gonna, you know, support Riri. Like, she don't got enough money. I'm just saying. This is a decent bronzer. It can be a little challenging to work with. I am wearing it today. It may need some building up on your skin, you know, depending on the shade and things that you buy. I can find that it does skip a little bit and can look a little patchy, so sometimes you just gotta work with it a little bit more. This is one that I won't be repurchasing. I love Riri. I think that she's done a really good job with her brand, but for me and my personal preference and what I find to happen with this is one that I will not be repurchasing. I've had this for a while. Like, I got this pretty much when it first came out a couple years ago, and a little does go a long way. I will give it that, because I've, you know, had it that long and I still haven't hit pan on it. So I'm hoping that I am close to that. Maybe you'll find this in a project pan in the future, so stay tuned for that. One that I will be rebuying is gonna be this Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder Palette. This is 4 shades, and of course I don't too much use this one, more so as an eyeshadow, but these 3, depending on my feel, depending on my skin tone, I might, you know, be able to dabble into these 3. I bought this, I watched this lady on YouTube, Andrea Renee, and she's got a deeper skin tone than I am, and this was all able to show up in her video. If I can locate that video, I'll link it down below so that you can go and check it out, maybe get some shade references, things like that. But I really do enjoy this. This was 10 bucks for all 4 shades, affordable, available at Ulta, shows up on my skin really well. So I am a fan. I am going to swatch a couple of these just so you can, well, I guess all of these because there was only 4 of them. So you can see for my sleeve up here. So you can see, 1, 2, 3. This one is probably the one that I use probably the most. So I may have, there we go. So yeah, you can see like they show up really well, and I really do enjoy them. It's a nice formula. They're not hard to blend out. I don't find that they skip any of that stuff. So I do really enjoy this. I would be repurchasing this one again. 10 bucks, you can't go wrong. And then the final thing that I like to put on are highlighters. Now with my oily skin, I don't need to highlight too often because it will kind of come through on its own at some point or another. So I don't use highlighters too much, but there are occasions where I do really feel like I want to put one on. I'm not wearing one today, but you can still see like I've got some highlighting going on my cheeks, you know, that some of it's just the blush that I use today, but some of it is also like my oils coming through. So I don't too much use highlighters. Now, I do have a few though that I'm gonna speak with you with. So the first one I have is gonna be Morphe, the High Impact Highlighter. This is in the shade Spark, and it's just a little guy. This is more, I don't know, rosy. It's got more of a rosy gold undertone to it. Nice highlighter, creamy, shows up really well. I have struggled with Morphe. I was really excited for them, you know, when I got first into makeup a couple years ago, and now it's like they just don't catch my eye as much, and so I don't find myself reaching for this really almost ever. So yeah, I don't really know. It is not, it's a nice formula, it's a nice product. I just don't reach for it too often. One that I received in a BoxyCharm is going to be this one by Steve Laurent. This is a jelly highlighter, so it's kind of bouncy. It's not like a cream, it's not like a powder, but it's like a bouncy, and that to me is like an interesting texture. I would say that this one's got more of a like rose gold kind of look to it as well. It's called Prosecco Please is the name of this one. Let me put that right there. And it's much more, it's a more subtle highlighter than the Morphe one. Like this one's like, bam, I'm in there. And this one, you know, is much more natural, a lot smoother. Not that this one, you know, chunky by any means or anything like that, but it's much more of a more natural highlight. And those are the ones that I tend to go for. The other highlight that I have is this Milani. This is in Golden Light shade 3. So this is like the deep tone one. I believe this one came in, you know, tones like fair, medium, and then dark. And so this one's got 3 that you can kind of put together, or you can use separately, which is really nice. They are very nice formula, kind of creamy, but not too creamy. And that's how they show up. They're not glittery. They're much more of a smoother formula. As you can tell, like this Morphe one is more glitter, and this one is like more smooth. So I do like this one. I tend to go in with this one the most because it's more golden, and then we've got like a bronze kind of shade, and then more of a rosy kind of shade in here. So this one I believe I got at Walgreens, and it was on clearance. So I do like this one. I do find myself reaching for this one quite a bit. I took this one and I did wedding makeup with it, and it looked really, really nice. So this one is a good one. So I would have to say that the most favorite one that I own in my collection is this e.l.f. Glow Gleam Beam one. This is in the shade Dark. I really, 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 really like this. This was 10 bucks. Not very expensive at all. Now this shade I don't use. It's entirely too glittery for my liking, so it is not one that I reach for like ever. But the rest of these shades I really, really like. The formula is really nice. Again, for 10 bucks, they're not very expensive. I get 5 shades. And highlighter you don't really use a lot of, so it's gonna last a long time. So we're gonna swatch these, and this looks brand new. I lost the one that I had. Let me clean off my arm. All right, so I had misplaced this after doing some wedding makeup, and I was like, no, that's not an option. We're going to go and repurchase this. Like, I need to have this in my collection. And so that very same week, I did. I went and repurchased it, and there we go. So for me, I like more of like a subtle highlight. I don't want it to be like all in my face. There are occasions for that, you know, and when I do feel that way, that's when I will reach more so for the Morphe one. But overall, like, this is like a more subtle, kind of everyday kind of highlight situation. You don't need a lot of these as well. As you can see, I just did a swatch, but I really like this bottom row here. They are smooth, like more smooth on this top row, but this one for sure is a favorite of mine. I'm sure that I will be trying more highlighters. I've really been wanting to try one of the Juvia's Place ones, and there's a piece of me that also kind of has wanted to try some of the Hourglass ones, but they are so expensive. I don't know if you're familiar with Hourglass, but they are in Sephora, so that kind of gives you, you know, more of a price range on that. Juvia's Place is more of a affordable option. They're located more on the affordable side of Ulta, and so with that, I really do want to try some of those. Plus, it's a Black-owned business, and I would just love to support my sisters out there, you know, making us beautiful, you know, keeping us beautiful and enhancing our natural deep beauty. So I'm sure that I will be getting my hands on some of those. It's the time of year where there are tons of sales going on, so do not be surprised if you see a highlighter from Juvia's Place in a future video. But that is going to be everything for my cheeks, bronzers, blushes, highlighters. Comment below on anything that you own that I have in my collection or that you're excited to see, or if there's something that you have seen out in one of the sales, you know, or at HEYYYYYYY or at Walmart or Target, and you are like, oh, I need to try that. Let me know so that, you know, if I run across it, maybe I'll pick it up and put it in a video and give you my thoughts on it. So that's gonna be everything for today. In this video, I am kind of double, triple filming, so you will probably see this look again here soon. Just keep an eye out for that. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.